Sometimes, you wake up and feel a quiet distance between who you were and who you are becoming. It's not sadness, not confusion, just an unspoken knowing. You no longer crave the same validation, the same company, or the same noise. Something in you has shifted, gently but permanently. The world around you may look the same, but you see it differently now. This is the beginning of outgrowing your own shadow. Not a rebellion, but an evolution. You start to walk slower, breathe deeper, and listen more closely. You start to care less about being understood, and more about being aligned. Every silence starts to speak. Every pause becomes prayer. Every breath feels sacred again. You're not losing parts of yourself, you're shedding what no longer fits. And in that shedding, your light begins to expand. The shadow trembles, but the soul smiles. We carry versions of ourselves that the world once clapped for. We hold on to identities that helped us survive, long after they stopped helping us grow. It's not easy to let go of the person who once protected you. But that old self isn't your enemy, it's your teacher. Outgrowing your shadow means forgiving your past selves. It means honoring their efforts without letting them define your future. The masks you wore weren't lies, they were survival tools. But you don't need them anymore. Now, you crave authenticity more than approval. Peace more than perfection. Depth more than distraction. You've outgrown the need to prove your worth. You are learning that your worth was never in question. It was simply waiting for your recognition. And now, it begins. When you grow beyond your shadow, even light can feel unfamiliar. There's fear in brightness because darkness felt predictable. The shadow was comforting, it was identity. But to expand, you must step into uncertainty. You must trust the space beyond your reflection. Growth feels lonely at first, not because you are alone, but because few walk this path consciously. You begin to sense truth in silence, and wisdom in pain. You understand that endings are not punishments, they're invitations. Every time you let go, the universe replaces what was lost with something purer, something meant for who you've become. So when fear whispers, remind yourself, the unknown is not your enemy, it's your becoming. And light will teach you more than shadow ever could. Once, a girl grew tired of chasing the light. No matter how fast she ran, her shadow followed. One day, she stopped running and turned around. "Why won't you leave me?" she asked. The shadow smiled, "I was never meant to leave. I was meant to remind you of where you came from." The girl wept, not in sadness, but in relief. She realized she didn't need to destroy her shadow to be free. She only needed to understand it. From that day on, she walked hand in hand with it. And as she did, her shadow grew smaller, not because it disappeared, but because her light had finally learned to love it. And that love made everything whole. As your vibration changes, your world does too. The people who once felt like home may now feel like echoes. You don't resonate with noise anymore. You crave presence, not performance. You start saying less, but meaning more. You start walking away not in anger, but in peace. It's not pride, it's alignment. You are finally choosing energy that doesn't drain you. And in doing so, you stop apologizing for your peace. You realize that growth is not about being liked, it's about being light. And sometimes, outgrowing your shadow means outgrowing the crowd. That's not loneliness, it's liberation. As your vibration changes, your world does too. The people who once felt like home may now feel like echoes. You don't resonate with noise anymore. You crave presence, not performance. You start saying less, but meaning more. You start walking away not in anger, but in peace. It's not pride, it's alignment. You are finally choosing energy that doesn't drain you. And in doing so, you stop apologizing for your peace. You realize that growth is not about being liked, it's about being light. And sometimes, outgrowing your shadow means outgrowing the crowd. That's not loneliness, it's liberation. True power doesn't shout, it breathes. It's not about control, it's about flow. When you stop fighting your shadow, you become whole. When you stop forcing outcomes, life begins to unfold with grace. Surrender is not giving up, it's giving into what's meant for you. It's the art of allowing yourself to be guided. When you trust the path, even the detours are divine. You realize that your soul has always known the way. You were just learning to listen again. And that listening becomes your light. There was a man who spent his life trying to escape his darkness. He built walls, wore masks, and called it survival. One night, exhausted, he sat under the stars and whispered, "I can't run anymore." The night replied, "You were never meant to run. You were meant to rise." In that silence, he closed his eyes and embraced his pain. And for the first time, his shadow softened. Light didn't destroy it, it danced with it. He realized enlightenment wasn't about becoming pure light, but about making peace with the dark within it. He smiled, because for the first time, he was whole. You are not chasing light anymore. You are the light, slowly remembering itself. Every shadow was a teacher. Every wound was an opening. Every fall was a step toward awakening. Now, when darkness comes, you no longer fear it. You know it's just another layer waiting to be understood. You are not becoming something new, you are returning home to yourself. To your truest, brightest frequency. And that light doesn't blind, it heals. You and your shadow were never enemies. They were two sides of the same truth, learning to dance in rhythm with each other. You outgrow your shadow not by running from it, but by walking alongside it, till it dissolves into your light. The journey never ends, it just deepens. And with each breath, the universe breathes through you. You have outgrown who you were. You are now who you were always meant to be. The light, the peace, the silence, the truth. All waiting within.